Good evening and welcome to the Jamboree edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Voisin, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy coming to you from the Mercedes-Benz Baton Rouge Studios in downtown Baton Rouge. And hope you and yours are well tonight. Hope you're taking the proper steps and precautions as Hurricane Ida is certainly heading our way. And if you were choosing to evacuate, if you're choosing to stay put, either way, hope you're prepared. And on the way to the show tonight, it seems like everyone is trying to get themselves out of town because not that often is I-10 backed up where it was coming in, going towards the bridge at this time of night on a Friday. But good to see that people are taking there.
You know what frustrates me is people panicking. Because when they panic, then all of a sudden, I got to go get my loaf of bread.
You didn't get your loaf of bread is what you're saying.
What about your toilet paper, Coach?
Got plenty of that.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what, this one's not one to play with. They haven't wavered on it at all, and this one could be the worst one we've seen in years and years.
So you said this is the first time the hurricanes come through in how many years that you hadn't been on call?
Since Hurricane Andrew, I think that was
1992
will be the first one that I'm actually at my house for. So it'll be a little different. Yeah.
So it is something that we want to be mindful of,
Okay.
and we'll let you know. Talk 107.3, our sister station, will have coverage all throughout the weekend and into Monday. We're going to kind of take a break from things and catch up on what's happening tonight, but just wanted to get that out there and let our audience know.
And not only that, first off, pray for everybody's safety because this one I think is going to be bad, but this is going to affect high school sports again. Lake Charles area faced it last year. There's no telling what areas, New Orleans area.
And they're still recovering in Lake Charles.
New Orleans area, Baton Rouge area, even up to North Louisiana could be affected by this storm, even to the North Shore. There's no telling how big of an area this could affect next week's game and even past that.
So coming up on tonight's show, we look forward to some conversations. St. James head football coach Robert Valdez, a familiar face, a familiar voice, will join us in a couple of minutes. From Mandeville, Coach Hutch Gonzalez at the bottom of the hour tonight. Ben Love from the Lafayette area giving us his thoughts on what's going on in Cajun country. And we'll look forward to some more conversations down the road. It is a little bit different tonight as a Jamboree week. We will provide scores here in just a couple of minutes and probably focus a lot on the Baton Rouge area. And we certainly will get some scores from around the state. The Scoreboard show you know and love certainly will be back next week as far as the full scores from around the state. And we will be joined once again, very happy to be partnered up with Cox Sports Television for another season so that we can get the scores and the attention to the schools to around the state. And we have a lot more of those. But if you're listening tonight or watching on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, thank you. We normally start with our big three. And I don't know if we necessarily have three, but the Hurricane certainly is going to take precedence there. After that, as teams are trying to go through Jamborees, let's think about this in terms of what we didn't get to see in 2020. There was so much jumbled, everything. So this season, fingers crossed, we are at least moving in the direction of having a regular season as far as starting on time and getting ready for the postseason, et cetera. So now it's Jamboree week. Guys, as coaches, you come from that background. What do you look to get out of a Jamboree?
I want to say real quick, COVID is going to be one of the big three. And Lake After Hours, Lake Urgent Care, they got you taken care of. Any problems, there's no telling how many locations now. They do a great job, get you in and out. So keep those in mind. Jimmy, you can go to the Jamboree. I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
I think there's 19 locations, and they have been swamped with people, but they've been doing a good job.
Utilize their online portal to get yourself to sign up before you go. It makes it a lot more streamlined.
I can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it.
There you go.
Yeah. Talking about Jamborees, last year teams missed scrimmages. They missed the Jamboree.
Mm-hmm.
Typically, you see most of your improvement between week 1 and week 2 of a regular season. But Jamboree goals, I think they're different for every team in the state. And I think your goal as a coach is to accomplish whatever it is that your team has to accomplish. You can't worry about the score in the Jamboree. I think some of them are to stay healthy and to get healthy. I went to Catholic High High tonight. Both teams had people sitting out who I don't know if they could have played or not, but they sat out. Lafayette Christian played Zachary tonight, and they had at least 3 D1 recruits sit out tonight for Lafayette Christian. But stay healthy, get healthy are some of the things. Settle position battles.
Well, yeah, I think that's important. I was going to add to what you said a minute ago is, you base your goals a lot of times on the experience your team has, and your expectations can go up and down. If you've got 20 returning starters, your expectations are a lot different than if you have 5 or 6.
Right. Substitutions are huge. Personnel groupings, sudden change. And when I say that, you may have just scored a touchdown and you got an interception, and now your team's on the sideline celebrating their touchdown, and then all of a sudden you got to go back into the game, getting plays in on time. There's all kind of things. Live special teams for the first time. Every team has went through special teams, but they never do them live until the Jamboree. And you see punt returns and kick returns and big plays in special teams all the time in Jamborees.
And it's, that gap you talk about between Jamboree and going all the way to week 2, there is a lot of coaching going on, a lot of teaching that goes on between there, because a lot of them are little mistakes, but those little mistakes can cost you big down the line.
And, you sit there and you watch the David Semino tonight from Calicut, his first game. He's going from coaching a group of 30 kids to 200 kids from Calicut Point Capita Catholic. And they looked kind of a little out of sorts in the first half. U-High jumped up to a 10-0 lead. I think Calicut came back and finally wore them down and won 28-10. But, for a new coach, those kids have to get used to his voice on the sideline and in the timeout huddles, pregame, halftime, how they handle those things. So it's not only big for the players, it's big for the coaches also. Yeah, I can go back to the 2007 season, Todd, when we were at Redemptorist, and we played Catholic High in the Jamboree, and we lost 6-3 or 7. What was it?
I thought Jeremy ran the kickoff back.
They had
and
7-6, something like that. And I can remember asking Travis later on in the year, and
who played quarterback.
We lost in the semifinals in overtime. And I can remember asking him when it was all said and done, I said, Travis, at what point of the year did you know that this team was going to be this good? And he said the Jamboree. And if you go back to that Jamboree, Guy Mastretta had suspended 8 players. Travis was out. He had a surgery, so he didn't play that game. He came back week 1. And just because of how the younger guys and the guys who weren't experienced played, it built some depth. And he knew at that point, if we can play Calicut to a 7-6 game now with 8 or 9 starters out, we can play with anybody. I'm
going to use him as an example from yesterday because EA had to bail on Dutchtown, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So Dutchtown had no one to play for their Jamboree, so they did an inter squad. And I had a couple people tell me that they haven't seen Guy that animated in a practice or anything. And I said, well, if I know him, he was trying to simulate. He wanted the intensity to be as close to what, as close to what he could have in a live Jamboree. So he was trying to build that intensity that they would see on a week 1 or week 2. Watch for Dutchtown. They're going to surprise some people.
Let's talk about the Central EA situation because we did not talk about it on our Sunday night show. Central and EA were not allowed to play in their Jamborees because of a little scuffle after the ball game. I want to clear the air with that thing. Central and EA has played at Central for 8 straight years in a scrimmage. Darnell Lee and even before him and Coach Edwards have a great relationship. The teams get together after the ball games. They eat together, fellowship a little bit together, and it was just an unfortunate thing. Nothing during the scrimmage led to this. It wasn't a scrimmage where I've seen where there may be 15, 20 personal fouls in it. None of that happened. It was a clean game. Just a couple people lost their cool for a minute, started running their mouth, and things got out of hand. It lasted about 90 seconds, and social media went crazy that people were put in the hospital from being hit in the head, people tased, people arrested. None of that was true. And if you go look at what Darnell Lee from East Ascension and his staff and Sid Edwards and his staff at Central High did, they did a really good job of controlling they made the best out of a bad situation. And, you know, it's very unfortunate what happened, but at the end of the day, hats off to those guys because they did do a good job of it.
For sure, for sure. Appreciate you letting us kind of get that out of the way, because I think so much happens with social media and people run with things,
Right.
don't know the facts, so good deal on it. Look, we're going to take a break here in a second. Coming up in just a couple of minutes, really excited to have another conversation. First time this season with Coach Robert Valdez, one of our favorites from over at St. James. Let's get you caught up right now with local jamborees from the desk of Adam Skip Cottrell.
Albany defeats East Iberville 29-0. Denham Springs over Walker 21-7. Dunham 35, Catholic Point Capee 20. Zachary 6, Zachary 12, Lafayette Christian 6. Catholic of Baton Rouge 28, University High 10. Parkview Baptist 18, St. Michael 0. St. James 18, Vanderbilt 12. East St. John 18, West Jeff 0. Ascension Catholic 14, Episcopal 0. Southern Lab 22, Amite 20. Independence 22, Springfield 20.
Abbeville 25, Rain 13. Kaplan 33, Lake Arthur 12. Iota 21, Eunice 6. St. Martinville 25, Lafayette 17. Carencrow 12, Cecilia 10. Acadiana 7, Notre Dame 0. Welsh 21, Elton 13. Burbridge 8, Northside 0. Turlings Catholic 21, Southside 7. Ascension Episcopal 24, Opelousas Catholic 0. St. Edmund 3, Vermilion Catholic 0. Westminster Christian 24, Thrive Academy 0.
So it's Rhys Nelson,
The newest
it's
member.
defensive end, right? Defensive end, Santa Ma, big boy. His older brother played. Maybe 2 or 3 years? No, 2 years out of you. So
Newest member of the Louisiana Prep Scoreboard family.
absolutely, man, great job.
We will continue to get you updated on scores. We will certainly have a focus on the Baton Rouge area, but we will go statewide and get as many of those as we can. A timeout, and then we're back with Coach Robert Valdez from St. James. You're listening to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savion office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savion have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Middle Relief, and after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
You kill someone. The results of driving drunk are tragic. That's why law enforcement is out there looking for impaired drivers to save lives. So if you think you're okay to drive after a few drinks, think again. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Cade Wazan, Todd Black, and Jimmy Roy and our cast of thousands helping gather scores on this Jamboree weekend. For the first time this season, we go ahead and jump on the GMFS Mortgage Hotline, and we're going to be speaking with a victorious head coach in early Jamboree action. St. James gets the win over the Terriers of Vanderbilt Catholic, 18-12, and their head coach, Robert Valdez, joins us. Coach, thanks so much for your time tonight. Hope you are well.
Oh, thank you, guys. I am. I'm not working tonight. I'm just sitting here chilling a little bit.
Coach, when I called you today, you was in your principal's office. I hope you didn't get fired.
No, I didn't get fired, but every time they call you up, it's always interesting. I'm always trying to figure out, what did I do?
Well,
Did I do something?
You know, Todd, they were actually making plans for the hurricane. And, talk before we even get into your game, talk a little bit about what your plans are
and your players.
For your players and St. James in general for the next couple of days.
Yeah, we we have a great team at St. James, and Michael Kennedy is my principal. We talk a lot, so we talked about sports, other sports. So we're off. We don't have school Monday. We had to make sure that all our facilities, that we had anything that could be loose or could be used as a projectile and all that, be put up and all that. And then phone logs, making sure that we have contact information with all our players, our kids, and if they are leaving, if they're evacuating, that we have access to reach them, and just try to, as best we can, do our part.
Coach, tell us a little bit about the game last night. You had an 18-12 win over Vanderbilt Catholic. You got some big plays from a couple big names in Shaz Preston and Daniel Jupiter.
Call them the usual suspects. I don't know if you guys are young enough to remember Kaze Sose. Maybe some. But it's a mixture, because we only have like 3 or 4 seniors on offense and 3 or 4 seniors on defense. So we're a bit young, but we have a lot of talent. And then a guy like Shaz, I mean, he's on another level right now. He just returning punts, and then Daniel, we put Daniel at returning kickoffs. So we had a punt return for a touchdown. We had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and Alec Mahler kicked a 45-yard field goal. So, it's good to be doing those special teams situations in a Jamboree. And defense, we don't have that Savion Jones guy and Caleb Brown, so we got to replace those guys. But Terrebonne's very good, feisty, physical football team, and we were able to, we had an 18-0 lead, and they scored a couple of touchdowns in the second half, which is good because I want to see how we handle that type of adversity. So it should be fun. We just got to get back to playing.
Coach, you had Vanderbilt Catholic, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I thought you had said Terrebonne, and you probably weren't watching tape on Terrebonne, so that's probably me misunderstanding you.
Well, Terrebonne is this week. I mean, they're right across the street from each other.
That's right.
That is true. Coach, you mentioned the youth on your team and which you have on both offense and defense, and we know that after this week, everybody's 0-0 going into the next week. But with a team being young, and we don't count wins and losses necessarily with a jamboree, but how important was it to have success where you have young guys that feel and get to feel that success in a game situation?
Especially when you have young guys, you don't get the quality of practice because you can't get best on best. We're a 3A program, so we're good guys and they can play. But when you go out there and you play big physical teams like Vanderbilt was, and they run at you, and their defense is stalemate at the line of scrimmage. It gives you a good barometer to see what you have to work on. And like I said, we got some offensive linemen that we have to catch up real fast, and defense and all that. So it's good. It was very good to get the game experience. That's the good thing about Jamboree. So you can fix it and work on the mistakes because after this week, we're playing for keeps.
You didn't disappoint with your scheduling this year. You have West St. John, East St. John, and Carr.
And Terrebonne, who has
and Terrebonne, that's right.
Who has one of the most electric players in the state.
But even with the young team, you chose to go that route, and I think that says a lot about you. You want to keep challenging them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that right now where we are with our program, you have to just iron sharpens iron, and we get some good programs. We get some really good games at home. I think we have a great facility, and people love coming down to beautiful downtown Bayou, and our fans want to see what we look like against these top teams. So, and I think it just helps because by the time you get to district and hopefully in playoffs, you've seen size, speed, the game slows down for you. And, I just don't believe in just scheduling wins because you don't get better.
What will you be looking for, Coach? I'm going to call you Big Four, and you can add to that. But Jupiter Preston, a returning quarterback in Markwell, Bezron,
Right.
and then I'm going to throw in Alec Mahler as a big because
the kicker. He's been there for 20 years.
It seems like he has been, but this guy is a game changer. I think he had 52 touchbacks last year. So but between those guys and then your younger guys on the line on both sides of the ball, what will you be looking for in those non-district games?
Well, it's just matchups and teams and how we fare against different type of schemes. You're looking at Terrebonne, a tremendous amount of athletes, and Coach Hill does a great job with those guys that play fast. West St. John is always a big rivalry. East St. John, it's another. We should be in that district with Hornville, East St. John, all of them because we're gonna play everybody over there.
Destrehan.
We should almost be in that district. But and then you round up Assumption and St. James are always locked horns for years, and a good neighborhood rivalry. And then Carr week 5. After Carr, who else do you play? LSU, Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah, St. James is known for playing a tough schedule. Before we let you go, touch on Savion Jones. We talked off air today about him, but let everybody know how he's doing at LSU.
Oh, he's doing great, man. I tell you, that's one of the kids that you get program kids. And I remember when Savion when we first met him, and he was skinny and shy. He's still a little shy, But I'm talking about a guy that when he puts the helmets on and put his hands down in the dirt, he's gonna cause problems. Saw him a couple of times when we went up there to play 7-on-7, and another time he's gotten bigger. He's in. These kids, they do so much in beautiful downtown Bayou. They hardly eat because they're always dirt riding, bikes, and all the different things that we have going on, and fishing and whatever. But they do a great job with the training table and the strength conditioning program is second to none. So he really looks like of physical menace. I think he's like 6'5", 6'6", 240 now. The good thing is that they have so much talent and depth at that position that he actually gets a chance to learn. But he's going to push for some time.
Guys, you talk about a full stadium, where a full stadium makes a difference around the state.
Oh,
St. James will benefit from that full stadium with that horn going and the barbecue pits rolling and the fans just going crazy.
Special place.
It's all by design. The other team has to warm up where we cook the jambalaya. So that's the 12th man. So we put them on the side by the concession stand, and they got to smell the chicken, they got to smell the jambalaya and all that. Hopefully they get a little bit nostalgic and forget about the scheme, and then we can punch them real quick and get an early lead.
The sign of a good head coach, you got to think of everything.
That's right. Well, Coach, look, we appreciate you taking out your time. Y'all guys stay safe down there, and
thank you. You too, man.
Let's pray for the best.
We appreciate you always having time for us.
Absolutely.
Oh, man. Thank y'all guys, man. Stay safe, and hopefully, this thing doesn't present as much danger, and we can get out of it.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Guys, I was going down to visit some friends last weekend for a fantasy football draft, and the path took me through Vacherie and down to Thibodaux, and you already passed by St. James on this route, and it's such a nice new campus. The stadium's right there. Yeah. I mean, it's a cool atmosphere on a Friday night.
And he's got good admin too. Loves them. Mm-hmm. That has a lot to do with their success.
Let's take before we take a break, we're going to get you caught up on Baton Rouge scores. We're going to have coming up in just a bit scores from the New Orleans area, scores from Acadiana, and as many as we can get to you tonight. But let's get a little look at Baton Rouge, and when we take a break, we'll be back in just a bit. But let's get our Baton Rouge scores.
Here are our Baton Rouge scores. Albany 29, East Iberville 0. Denham Springs a 21-7 winner over Walker. Dunham 35, Catholic Point Capee 20. Zachary a 12-6 winner over Lafayette Christian. Catholic of Baton Rouge 28, University 10. Parkview Baptist 18, St. Michael 0. St. James 18-12 winner over Vanderbilt. East St. John 18, West Jefferson 0. Ascension Catholic shuts out Episcopal 14-0. Southern Lab 22, Amite 20. And Independence 22, Springfield 20.
Mandeville Skippers were a quarterfinal team in 2020. Their head coach, Hutch Gonzalez, will join us next here on Louisiana Prep Scoreboard, presented by Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
When experience matters, call us 753-1234 or visit us online, theantiagingclinics.com, to schedule your free consultation.
Feel better faster with virtual visits from Lake Urgent Care. Lake After Hours. See a highly trained clinician from anywhere using your mobile device or computer. To get started, go to lakeurgentcare.com and schedule your virtual visit today. Feel better faster with virtual visits from Lake Urgent Care. Lake After Hours. See a highly trained clinician from anywhere using your mobile device or computer. To get started, go to lakeurgentcare.com and schedule your virtual visit today.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Jamboree edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Next week, we will be returning to CST, so we appreciate that partnership for another season. You can watch us tonight on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. And remember, Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours locations all around the greater Baton Rouge area for any kind of, minor injury, ache, or illness. You want to get a COVID test. I can tell you the online system we talked about in the first segment works so easy to get yourself signed up, signed in. You pull up in the car, they tell you when you're ready. You go get everything taken care of. It's such a peace of mind thing. And they're always taking good care of you once you're inside. Let's go ahead and jump on the GMFS Mortgage Hotline and join another victorious head coach. Head coach of the Mandeville Skippers, Coach Hutch Gonzalez, is there coming off a 35-0 Jamboree win last night over Pearl River. Coach, congratulations. Thanks so much for spending a couple of minutes with us tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
I got to go over to Mandeville. When was that, Coach? January? You just had your second baby, I think.
I had just had my second baby. That's right.
And so talked a little quarterback, and I think he knows quite a bit. He helped a good bit. But
so you took him away from his family right after the baby was born?
He was back in school. He's like, everybody comes through his office.
I apologize for Todd, Coach.
So, Coach,
I said second. It was actually my third. I don't know what I was thinking. It's my third.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, I know everybody wants to do better the season before, but you're coming off of 3 quarterfinal seasons. And this year, you lost, I think, quite a bit on defense. I think you only have one coming back, right? That was John Wallace. Is he the only one coming back on defense?
We had, we had a couple that were, you would say starters or rotators that were heavy contributors on defense, and then 2 or 3 coming back on offense as well. But look, realistically, if you talk about what we lost, it's really 18 starters.
Wow. Talk a little bit about John Wallace, Patterson, for a little bit. And he's your 3-year starter on defense, right?
Correct. He is he's the last of that group of kids that we really, we really built around the past few years. He's been a 3-year starter. He's going to be a leader on defense. He's a phenomenal athlete as well as just football player in general. Great leader. the kids look up to him. He's the same guy on and off the field all the time, and you got to have that guy in the middle of your defense, and that's where he plays for us.
Is he a guy that's going to be able to continue playing after high school?
Without a doubt, he can contribute at some level. I think he's he's a 1AA or now FCS type of player. He can contribute on special teams. He can contribute defensively wherever somebody would be willing to give him a shot. He doesn't always have the measurables that people are looking for, but he definitely has the ability to play for whoever would give him an opportunity.
Coach, I'm going to flip to the offensive side. You lose Devon Tott. I think he ended up at McNeese, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct?
Correct. That is correct.
Yeah. You didn't miss a beat, put up 35 last night, 236 yards of offense. You get a transfer from Chalmette to come in, Kirk Dusain, 122 yards and a touchdown passing and then a rushing touchdown. Talk about his performance. And also replacing Devon. How's he adapting to that, being a new kid on campus?
Well, I can tell you right now, he's heard the name Devon Tott more than he probably has wanted to. Look, because he's heard me say before, look, Tott's not back there anymore. This isn't who we are. That guy was as special as they come. He's the best high school quarterback that I've ever coached, and he had things that a lot of guys just don't bring to the table. We had a legitimate four-way battle at the quarterback position all summer and leading up to this Jamboree. Really, we didn't make a decision until Monday, Tuesday before the Jamboree. So, Kirk stepped in and did well in the scrimmage, and that's kind of how we made our decision. And he's really clicked with the guys, and he loves working with the receiver group. He goes out there and works on his own a lot. And being a new guy on campus, he's really kind of taking charge. He's got a phenomenal go-getter attitude. He wants to learn, and he's, like I said, the ball's kind of been in his court. He took it and ran with it.
Coach,
he performed well the other night.
Coach, you talk about a four-man battle not being decided until last week. Okay, so now you have a pecking order of 1, 2, 3, 4. How do you handle that going forward? It was obviously it had to be a pretty close competition, right?
It was extremely close.
Okay.
And look, I mean, there's some credence to the saying that you have four, you have none.
Right.
Because at that point we're splitting reps. I mean, if it was two, it'd be easier. If it was three, it'd be easier. But when you have four, now you're splitting the reps 4 ways at practice. Guys aren't getting the proper amount of reps that you need them to get. And if you're trying to get into a starting quarterback by week 1 and the guy's gotten only a quarter of the reps, that's tough. But it was tight, and we're blessed in the sense that we have 4 guys who can get back there and run our offense and throw the ball effectively. One beat out the others by a very small margin, so there's not a whole lot of if one goes down, it's panic mode. Now it's just the next guy steps in. But we had to make a decision, and really he showed us what we needed to see, and got the job done.
How do you balance that going forwards? Do you try to get those other guys some reps in with your first string, or do you say, hey, this is your job and you're going to play until the game's decided and then I'm going to get some reps? Or what's your plan as far as balancing it?
I think if you're being fair to your team and you're being fair to the guy who won the job, then you have to just say, look, this is your job and you're going to play the game until it's decided. Look, he got all the reps in the Jamboree in the first half, I guess you would say. He got a couple drives in the second half, and then we tried to get those guys in the second half because they really earned it. When they went in, they did well. But I think if you're going to commit to one guy, you got to commit to one guy. And it's going to be that guy's job until he proves otherwise.
This is a great conversation. I mean, because people always want to know certain things like, but this keeps you up at night, right, Coach? Other than your baby?
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, while I'm up at night, these are the kind of things I think about. Aside from, hey, where's that milk so we can get this kid back to sleep? But, yeah. No, I mean, absolutely. We definitely, this is the kind of thing that, as a head coach, and my offensive coordinator has poured his entire existence into these 4 kids for the past few months. I'm sure that, he's wanted to send me text messages at 3:30 a.m. and go, hey, what do you – but, he's been respectful of it. But I mean, yeah, it's definitely a stressful situation, and going forward, like I said, when you have 4, you have none. So we just weren't certain of anything.
And Todd, I always thought it was important to get whoever your backup is, when you if you have the flexibility and you're comfortably ahead and the game's decided, get your backup a series or two with your first string offensive and run your regular offense before you go into let's get out of here mode. And I think that's important.
Coach, it sounds like you had 4 guys running at quarterback, though, that were selfless. And I don't know them, but it just seems like the way you talk about the situation that it was handled like men should handle it. And I want to let you have an opportunity to talk about your team's work ethic in the offseason before we let you go, because I know you were proud of that.
Extremely. Look, it's been a challenge, when you lose a spring because, COVID and things happen. In our parish, things got a little wild with COVID during the spring, and our kids never missed a beat. This is the second spring in a row that we haven't been able to do what we needed to do, and then we were able to roll in the summer and really kind of get it done. And like I said, even the new guys stepped up and really took charge, and our seniors, which we have a huge senior class this year, 28 seniors, and they've really just been in the program since they were babies. This is my first senior class as far as taking them all the way through from freshmen to seniors. They know how we do things, and they really led the off season. It's been phenomenal. It's been a good year, and we're expecting good things out of these kids, despite the fact that we lost, a ton of starters from last year and really 3-year starters and leaders. But these kids have picked it up right where they left off.
Coach Hutch Gonzalez from over in Mandeville, thanks so much for joining us tonight. On a personal note, please stay safe out there for you and your team and your family.
Absolutely. Y'all too, man. Take care.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Before we get to break, and in the next segment, we'll be joined by Ben Love to get some caught up on what's going on in the Lafayette area. Let's get you caught up not only with Mandeville tonight, but let's get caught up on what happened elsewhere in the North Shore as well as the New Orleans area. Rhys is going to handle our New Orleans North Shore check-in here before we head to break.
St. Paul's over Rummel, 17-7. John Curtis, 39. Jennings, 6. Brother Martin, 14. De La Salle, 7. Ponchatoula, 29. Newman, 7. Solomon shuts out Pope John Paul II, 3-0. Slidell, 19. Lakeshore, 13. Madison, 14. Sarah Reed, 0. Mandeville, 35. Pearl River, 0. And North Shore, 42. Franklinton, 13.
39 points from Curtis in Jamboree.
How about the Newman Ponchatoula school? And Newman went up 7-0 early in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Good win for Ponchatoula.
We'll take a break, and we'll show some love to the Lafayette area. Ben Love going to join us next here on the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
This isn't just another day, it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Term financial strategy, call or visit your local Edward Jones office. In Plaquemine, Kyle Robichaux. In Central, Chris Choate. In Denham Springs, Scott Landry. And in Baton Rouge, Tex Morris. Edward Jones, making sense of investing. Member SIPC.
At Total Occupational Medicine, our team of medical professionals is dedicated to getting your employees back to work without the overutilization of medical services. We help to minimize OSHA recordables, reduce average cost per case, and lost time without compromising quality patient care. We offer clinical, on-site, and plant services. Let Total Occupational Medicine design a customized plan to meet your company's needs. Or for more information, visit TotalOCCMed.com.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard. Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, our title sponsor once again this year, and proud to have them on board. Once again, also proud to have our Lafayette correspondent joining us. He is the voice of the Karen Crow Bears, the state champion voice of the Karen Crow Bears, Ben Love. Ben, how are you?
Hey, Cade, doing great. Coaches, how are y'all tonight?
Great, and congratulations on the newborn, man.
That's right, fatherhood.
I sent Jimmy the picture of the baby in the football outfit.
Yes, indeed.
I love it.
Don't fumble. Don't fumble.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Did you get your fishing hole this morning?
No, that's out. I can tell you those days are over for a while.
Oh. I had a trip lined up Sunday morning, but this whole Ida thing is putting a kink in that.
How did the Crow Bears look last night?
They looked okay. They look like a team that's, having to replace two all-state running backs, a quarterback that had started for 2+ years, and a number of experienced players on the defense, especially in the secondary. I think they'll have a very tall test going to Acadiana in week 1. That may be a tough opening bell. And when you think about it, this Karen Crow team, it just came to me the other day. Their last 3 last 3 games, if you count the playoffs, will be Neville, Edna Carr, and now Acadiana to start the season. So they certainly have been tested, and they're going to have to grow up on the fly to compete with that Wrecking Rams team.
And look, you don't just replace a Kendall Williams and a Traylon Prejean at running backs. Those guys were special.
Well, they started off with West Monroe last year and knocked them off.
Yeah. Sure
You got to believe, Coach.
Look, they'll have a chance. There's no question. I'll tell you this. I like their defensive line. I like their linebacking core. And when you take on Acadiana, that's the most important part. So what I would tell you, just looking at them last night and talking to the coaches, I think secondary is where they're going to really have to grow up on the fly. Well, that's not where Acadiana is going to test you the most. So maybe you get a pass there. But by the time you get to Walker Howard and St. Thomas More, it's a much, much different story. So it's going to be a very good Karen Crow team. We'll see if they've got the mettle to be a team that can go as far as they did a year ago.
Ben, y'all from Lafayette, you had 4 state champions last year. St. Thomas More. You had
2 from one
Lafayette,
district.
Yeah, Lafayette, Christian.
And
then you had
Acadian.
Acadian and Karen Crow.
Yeah, it's 4.
Uncharted water for you guys.
Pretty incredible. And I would say, I think, and look, Karen Crow is in just a grind of a 4A classification, right? So we'll see if they can, again, have that type of championship season. But I would say it's hard for me to see the other 3 not being in a similar position this year. I mean, on the select side, you look at LCA. I mean, they've got a kid who was a freshman quarterback last year, returns as a sophomore. Their defense is going to be the best they've ever had, maybe, even without Sage Ryan. That's what the rumbling is, at least. So LCA is going to be tremendous. St. Thomas More has the best quarterback in the country, Walker Howard, and I think they're going to be awfully good this year. And then there's Acadiana. I mean, for my money, I would say Acadiana has been probably the best team in the state of Louisiana, any classification over the last 2 seasons. So I think they've got a lot of chances of repeat in the area.
Lafayette Christian plays Zachary really well without their 3 commits tonight. How about St. Martinville? Do you know anything about them? I hear they have a chance to be really good, and Cecilia's going to be an improved team in that area.
St. Martinville's got a receiver, number 3, and you're going to have to excuse me. I think his last name's Broussard. He's already got a slew of D1 offers, and he was incredible last night. He high-pointed a 50-50 ball, took it away from a Lafayette High kid at the 5-10-yard line, and it just waltzed in. A few other big catches. I can tell that Vince Derwan's team is better than they've been the last couple of years. And to give you some background, Karen Crow's played them the last few years, and I mean, those have been 40 to 50-point spread ball games in Karen Crow's favor. I think it's going to be different this year. And without Tank Lotief at Kaplan especially, I think St. Martinville wins that district, and they might just run away with it.
Jimmy stole my underdog. I swear that was my underdog. I like to have 18, 19 returning starters.
Well, yeah, when you look at it, they were 8-3 last year, lost in the quarterfinals of Union Parish. They lost 1 starter on offense. They returned 8 on defense. They have a sophomore running back who was over 1,300 yards last year as a freshman named Stephen Blanco. Now, Todd, the one thing that you will like, they run a pro eye steal.
So they
offense.
huddle.
Yeah, and they get under center. And that's something that we used to do with multiple eye offense, and that's what St. Martinville does. The big thing with St. Martinville, Todd, they lack a little bit of depth, but their starters are as good as anybody.
And then Notre Dame Crowley will be there. That Division III is just brutal.
Well, the worst thing that ever happened to Louis Cook, at least in the last 5 to 10 years, is LCA moving up in classification, right? And that was a close battle. The first year those two were in the same classification, and it's maybe gotten a little more distance between them. So we'll see if they can close that gap. I thought they looked pretty good against Acadiana last night. I mean, that Wrecking Rams defense is one of the best in the state, so it shouldn't shock anybody that they went scoreless. But to hold Acadiana to only 7, that speaks volumes of the Bayou defense.
And Notre Dame had a couple opportunities in the red zone at the end of the first half and late in the game to score to tie it, right?
Yes.
Did Acadiana take their quarterback and move him to defense?
Yes. They took Jeremiah Brown, and he's going to be a D1 recruit, played quarterback last year, moved him to a strong safety, and they're going with a guy named Aiden Trahan, I'm guessing Trahan over there, a sophomore starting his first year running that veer.
I'm going to tell you, they love him. They love the sophomore. I've been hearing about it all off season. As veteran as they've been at that position, they think the guy they've got now gives them a chance to be more explosive, which, frankly, is frightening.
Anybody else over there, real quick? We've got about a minute and a half.
How about Lafayette? They had a good season. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna put a plug in for Ryan Antoine's guys. And I've been seeing Westgate in the same division as Karen Crow and St. Thomas More and Turling's Catholic for a couple of years. From what I hear, they've got their best offensive and defensive lines that they've had in years. And if you take the athletes, I mean, think about Keyshawn Butte and McAlvin's son and some of the D1 wide receivers that have been there. And they've got a kid now, Danny Lewis, that's the D1 tight end prospect. You combine those athletes with consistent physical and big sides of the line, Westgate's a team. I'm not telling you they're going to win that district this year. It's awfully tough, but I don't think you'll want to see them in the playoffs.
And St. Thomas More is going to have a lot to replace. I know they're well coached. They have the number one quarterback in the country, but they replaced Jack Besh, Carter Arsenault, Carter Dominique, and so they're going to have a lot to replace with to go along with Walker Howard. So it's going to be an interesting district.
Ben Love, we look forward to talking with you throughout the season, man. Best of luck as you guys stay safe, and we look forward to talking with you again.
Same to you guys. Be safe.
Hey, man.
All right, hour 2 coming your way next.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside off the bench, middle relief, and after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show, presented by Lake Urgent Care and Lake After Hours on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. From the Jamborees to the Superdome, your source for the most up-to-date scores and stats is right here. Now, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, and Cade Wazan.
11 o'clock on a Friday night downtown Baton Rouge. This is the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Lots more to get to, but let's get you caught up right now on scores. We will start in Baton Rouge and get you caught up also in North Louisiana scores. So we'll start with the capital city.
Starting off in Baton Rouge, Albany 29, East Iberville 0, Denham Springs 21, Walker 7, Dunham 35, Catholic Point Capee 20, Zachary 12, Lafayette Christian 6, West Feliciana 28, Livonia 0, Catholic of Baton Rouge 28, University High 10, Parkview Baptist 18, St. Michael's 0, St. James 18, Vanderbilt 12, East St. John 18, West Jefferson 0, Woodlawn 14, Madison Prep 13, Central Catholic 14, Episcopal 0, Southern Lab 22, Amite 20, Independence 22, Springfield 20.
And your North Louisiana scores: Parkway 24, Benton 14, Bossier 26, Plain Dealing 0, Airline over Houghton 26-7, C.E. Bird 27, Captain Shreve 14, North Caddo 38, Green Oaks 7, North Caddo 14, Booker T. Washington 6, Northwood Shreveport 13, Southwood 0, Northwood Shreveport 28, Green Oaks 7, Manny 26, Pineville 0, North DeSoto over Evangel 15-3, Ouachita Parish 35, Bastrop 0, Homer 6, North Webster 0, Mendon 6, Haynesville 0, Haynesville and Lakeside scoreless, Cedar Creek 6, Rayville 0, Cedar Creek 8, Lincoln Prep 6, Red River 24, Loyola Prep 15, Rose Pine over Pickering 41-6, Tioga 21, Grant 6, and Winfield 10, West Ouachita 6.
Thank you, Skip. Thank you, Rhys. Getting our Baton Rouge and North Louisiana scores. More coming out before we wrap up tonight's show at midnight. Looking and listening to some of those scores, a school stood out from North Louisiana. And we don't have our correspondent with us tonight, but thinking about Evangel, a team that's always been at least in the forefront of people's minds when you talk about success since they've come around from that North Louisiana area. And last year was a rough year by their standards. Wondering what they'll do come 2021.
What was their score tonight?
I believe it was a 3-0. I have to double check with Skip on that. They fell by either a field goal or just.
I think they're coming down here to play Dutchtown this year.
Yep, they are.
We'll
No, it's not next week, but they
we'll
are.
find out about it. Another score that was interesting to me: West Feliciana 28-0 over Livonia. Hudson Fuller, in his second year, has a
new coordinator, right?
Yeah, well, he's running the offense. Deuce Harrison's
There we
running the
go,
defense from Calicut. They also brought another coach from Calicut. I think we can call him Calicut North up there in West Feliciana. But they have a couple of really special players. Aeneas LeMay, he's a McNeese commit. He's one of the most explosive players in there. We talked a little bit about him on Sunday night. And then they have a quarterback, a sophomore. And I haven't talked to Hudson about him or Coach Fuller, but a guy named Joel Davis. They say he's a true dual threat. This guy who was telling me about it compared him to a quarterback that Todd and I had in Deuce Kuhn. Said a little bit bigger, probably maybe a little bit better than Deuce Kuhn. And if he's that good, he's going to be a special one. And they have and we'll get with Hudson later in the year, but they have a special group of sophomore juniors. They could make a run this year, but in the next year or two, West Feliciana is going to be a team to look out for.
Speed's always been something that West Feliciana's had, and we look back at that state championship run built around guys that could outrun you on the track and outrun you on the football field. And so you add a football in their hands, and they were just so tough to beat.
And look, I'm going to tell you another one. The game we went to tonight at Memorial was Catholic High and U High.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't surprise me for both of those teams to win the state championship in their respective classes. Andy Martin does a great job over there. They played without. I didn't see Jaden Alsbury on the field tonight. They were playing without another defensive lineman.
Young Moses kid is there?
I didn't see
He's
him.
a linebacker.
Yeah.
Yep.
So they didn't play with a full deck tonight, but they gave Calicut more than they wanted in the first half. Now, the second half, Calicut wore them down just with the depth and how big they are. But if U-High can get some decent quarterback play, some pretty good quarterback play, they have a chance to be pretty good because Derek Graham's a good running back. They have some receivers. They're going to have to get and they were battling at quarterback. It was a competition battle between Hudson Osborne and Blake Abney. So whatever shakes out there is going to be interesting to keep an eye on.
And keep in mind, De La Salle's coach is now at Jesuit, and I think that's going to hurt De La Salle a pretty good,
very possible.
Where they won't be the contender that
I think they got somebody from Roma. I know Eric Hill's going to text us and tell us, but I think the De La Salle new coach came from Roma, who was a graduate at De La Salle, if I'm not mistaken.
So you look at that 3A district here. You've got U-High, Madison Prep, Parkview, West Feliciana, Bruley, Madison. Yes, and Madison Prep, Baker. It's loaded.
It's loaded, and they got an 8-team district this year also. They picked up
Port Allen?
Port Allen's 2A.
Are they?
Yeah. Now they picked up Baton Rouge Collegiate or somebody like that, but Madison Prep and Woodlawn. Woodlawn is an up-and-coming 5A team that everybody's talked about. Woodlawn won that one 14-13, came from behind. Madison Prep had a lead. Zion Chris, a UL commits a quarterback. He's a 2-time MVP of that district, and he's done it with different styles. If you remember his sophomore year, they were throwing the football all over the field, and his passing stats were incredible. Then they come back last year, and they were basically a run team. The big thing with them, they're going to have to replace Tyrell Raby, who went on to Memphis as a DB wide receiver. Also, Quincy Wiggins, big defensive lineman, who's going to probably choose between Alabama and LSU. We're going to get to some players in a little bit, but it's incredible the amount of talent, not only in Louisiana, but Baton Rouge. Man.
Well, we just got off the mics, and the first reaction we were talking about is how many D1 commits or D1 level talent we had talked about over the course of the first 60 minutes of the show, and how much of that is coming from Baton Rouge. Because we know there's plenty of kids here that are going to have the opportunity to play at the next level. It may not all be at D1, and it doesn't necessarily, matter. As long as you have that opportunity to earn yourself a scholarship, I think it's special. But those D1 athletes coming from this area and kind of all at the right time where Friday nights are going to be that much more special.
Another quick score that we had a request from is Liberty High. Coach Dre Trosclair over there, 26-0 over McKinley tonight. They have a running back who's the real deal and also a quarterback who's going to be recruited too. So it's going to be interesting to see how they handle. They've had success at the JV level, kind of like Estruma did a couple of years ago. How are they going to handle that varsity competition this year is going to be interesting to see.
So, Cage, you mentioned the speed with West Feliciana. A few weeks ago, I had the opportunity to go up to Louisiana Tech. That's where Smoke is. And I swear he has gotten thicker and he has gotten quicker. I mean, just like a cat out there, and they can't tackle him. And, it's Tech feels like they're going to be pretty good, but I want to brag on my buddy, Coach Skip Holtz, because they're in camp. And each night they have, in the one I sat in was the senior class, and they were going over interview skills. Mm-hmm. And I was talking to a couple of the other coaches, and they said, I've never seen this done before, but that's a guy that goes the extra mile to do what's right for those kids. And they made them all stand up and sell themselves in 30 seconds. And it was really good, because otherwise, when do they get that experience? So he takes care of it. And I've always said this about him. He's not only a great football coach, but he really cares about the kids he coaches.
That's something that goes a long way when you talk about, in this day and age, how everyone has access to social media. So really, comments from players or coaches, we still have regularly scheduled times for things like that, but you're showcasing all over the place. And so now with the changing landscape of college football, name, image, likeness, et cetera, you build your personal brand. So I think that goes a long way for a young man, a young lady at the collegiate level, knowing how to work and how to speak with those that are going to be doing their job, and you're just doing your job. And how do you do that? Can you do it the right way? And coaches that go the extra step, extra mile. Every school should be having teaching interviews. I would think they do.
Well,
I mean,
if they're not, that shame on them.
Well, and from these guys had a lot of experience, and I just said how good a job. And they said, this is the first coach I've ever known to do this.
Wow.
But here's what's interesting. You have a guy that is working, playing football, and going to school. So we know now, you think about what he's doing now is tougher than probably any job he would get. But they'll go through it. They don't realize what they're doing. And they have no time. And that's what's kind of neat. You're sitting back and they're like, I'd say, look, I went to class, I played football, and I worked. That tells you what kind of worker I am, and they don't even mention it.
Not only that, study halls in there and all that kind of stuff. It's a
film work.
Yeah, it is a job. It's longer hours than most jobs that you will have. I mean, it really
no doubt.
Todd, real quick, COVID. I hate to bring this back up, but so far, from what we understand from the LHSAA, is if you miss a game because of COVID, it's going to be a forfeit this year, correct? I've seen one team was Lake Arthur, and somebody's already announced that they're not playing next week because of COVID. The LHSAA has a rule in place, and hope maybe somebody with the LHSAA that's listening now can correct me if I'm wrong. There's a rule within the LHSAA that you forfeit 2 games in a season, you have a 2-year ban from playing. I wonder if that is going to be enforced under these situations, because that could very easily happen. Very easily.
What if both of them have COVID?
Double forfeits.
Whoever flinches first.
Double forfeit, I guess.
Because, I understand on one end, which, you can't. On one end, you want to be able to take all the precautions. You want to make sure you're following all the rules, where you got to wear a mask, who's going to do what, where you're spacing things out, if someone has symptoms and what you do. I can see that rule being helpful for teams that are just, if there was evidence found for teams that are just being a little careless with the protocols. I worry about the kids that it happens, you didn't know, and now you're contact tracing, and now you're forfeit, and it just snowballing.
It's put into place to keep people from trying to jockey for the postseason like they did last year.
For sure.
So the coaches brought this on themselves if this happens. So, I get what the LHSAA is saying, but another concern I have is if you have 10 people from a 1A school compared to 10 people from a 5A school, that's a whole different ballgame. But also I could go back and throw you out the same question. Well, what if there was 10 injuries before COVID ever hit? What if that team had 10 injuries? What are you going to do? You still play.
Most of the LHSAA issue last year was contact tracing. And for instance, look at I think it was at Scotlandville and Zachary, and then Zachary ended up having to, because of contact tracing, did they sit out a game, or they just had a lot of?
I think they missed the last week or two of the year.
And see, that's not, Zachary had nothing to do with it. Yeah. They just played, and then another guy on the other team has it, and then I think there's got to be some fine wording in there that we're missing.
Yeah, in that case, you're saying, well, I'm taking the hit because I played a team that had
one.
Mm-hmm. Where is my wrong when I played the team that had somebody? I don't know.
It's just a tough,
But the forfeit rule and the 2-year ban with 2 forfeits. Ooh, I don't know if that one's going to be an interesting. We'll have to get Mr. Bonine.
I would say, that's a question for the man himself.
You got another year of eligibility. You can go back and maybe fill in a spot.
Yeah, I'd last one play.
I would hope to get on the field.
Yeah.
Because it's been hot. Well, I tell you, it's been hot out there for these guys to be working.
Okay, I am getting a report now. I'm not going to say who, but a reliable source is saying that Mr. Bodine has said that the 2-year ban will not come into play if a team has to forfeit due to COVID. And to me, that is the right decision.
Absolutely. I think you can make an exception in this circumstance. I understand why the rule's in place, and I'd probably in all other situations agree. And I think in this situation you can make an exception.
Here's another one that's confusing too. It's like the holdback rule. So you would think it was only in 7th and 8th grade. If you get held back, your season ends your junior year. But it's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. And then on top of that, there's an age rule as well. Why do you need both?
Don't get held back. All you got to do is fail a class.
Well, the people didn't happen to know.
And then they're eligible.
Well, and that's what's crazy. They
But
didn't.
you can't hold them back.
They didn't try to do anything illegal. And I thought it was 7th and 8th grade, but you're 100% right. If they fail, they're good. But if you hold them back.
I know a kid who went to school every day, straight A kid, failed, kid's a doctor now.
Everybody has a bad day.
That's right.
I got held back in kindergarten, and look at me. We'll take a timeout. Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours.
You're hanging out with two idiots like us.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
When you've been in the industry for over 20 years, you learn a few things. For one thing, you learn your product inside and out, but you also learn how to ask the right questions and give satisfying answers. Jim's Firearms.
Yo, you can listen to 104.5 ESPN on the airwaves, on your phone, and now on YouTube.
Off the bench, middle relief, after further review, and more are all live daily on the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel, powered by Bayou Ford. Subscribe now to interact with us inside the Bayou Ford live chat. Find highlights for each show's channel and get notified whenever we go live. Watch now on the 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge YouTube channel, powered by Bayou Ford. The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Next Friday night, we'll return with the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic's Louisiana Prep Preview Show. We look forward to that. We'll have leading you into Catholic High football all season long, the Louisiana Prep Preview Show from 6 to 6:45. And then following Catholic High football all season is this very program, the Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Will be on our partners in Cox Sports Television all season long, starting with week 1 next week. A programming note, no Louisiana Prep weekly Sunday night. Certainly being very mindful of Hurricane Ida, but we will return with Louisiana Prep Weekly next Sunday, 6 p.m., and you can be able to see us at a variety of walk-ons locations throughout the season. Let's get you caught up on scores tonight. Jamboree scores. Baton Rouge, Acadiana will start first in the capital city.
The Baton Rouge scores: Albany 29, East Iberville 0, Denham Springs 21, Walker 7, Dunham a 35-20 winner over Catholic Point Capee, Zachary over Lafayette Christian 12-6, West Feliciana shuts out Livonia 28-0, Catholic Baton Rouge 28, University High 10, Parkview Baptist 18, St. Michael's 0, St. James 18, Vanderbilt Catholic 12, East St. John 18, West Jefferson 0, Woodlawn a 14-13 win over Madison Prep, Ascension Catholic 14, Episcopal 0, Southern Lab 22, Amite 20, and Independence 22, Springfield 20.
Kicking off your Acadiana scores, you've got Abbeville defeating Rain 25-13, Kaplan 33, Lake Arthur 12, Iota 21, Eunice 6, St. Martinville 25, Lafayette 17, Karen Crow 12, Cecilia 10, Acadiana shutting out Notre Dame 7-0, Welsh 21, Elton 13, Burbridge 8, Northside 0, Carolings Catholic 21, Southside 7, Ascension Episcopal 24, Opelousas Catholic 0, St. Edmund 3, Vermilion Catholic 0, Westminster Christian 24, Thrive Academy 0.
Rhys, real quick, what's your most memorable game in high school?
Probably have to say my senior year against McKinley. Weather was horrible, but you know, there weren't really any fans there or anything like that. But it was just most memorable because it kind of felt like, you know, being back playing in the backyard when you're a kid in the rain and you know, not really worrying about anything like that and just going out and playing football.
You ever have any scooping scores?
Sadly not.
Oh, well, I had neither.
It wasn't because of the speed, though. Nobody else would hit somebody so he could scoop it.
Oh, that's true.
That's what it was.
What was the game we were watching on television last year in this studio? Was it a playoff game?
East St. John Woodlawn.
Ooh, man.
East
That
St.
was
John
memorable. We're talking
Woodlawn.
about being in the weather.
Like double overtime or something.
Yeah.
Was you at Redemptress when we played Leesville? Or was that before? No, that wasn't.
The Wampus Cats?
That was 2005. Never mind. I remember that one. Ooh. Half the field was flooded. It got ugly.
Let's change the subject and get to something that I know will be a good feeling as Dunham gets a win in their Jamboree 35-20. Their head coach, Neil Weiner, joins us for the first time this season. Coach, thanks so much for spending a couple of minutes with us. It's good to hear from you.
Hey, thanks, Kate. It's good to hear from y'all. And I've never had a scooping score either. So.
Yeah, but you were probably playing on the other side of the ball.
That's true. That's true.
That's right. Neil, Big night tonight for not only Dunham High School, but Derek Stingley Jr. Y'all recognize him and retired his number.
Yeah, it was a special night. It really was fun to see Derek back at the stadium, and a lot of his teammates showed up to show support. And of course, there was a lot of purple and gold out there and 24 jerseys. Of course, he'll be wearing number 7 this year, but special night for Derek and for us to be able to honor and recognize what a special student and athlete, obviously, that he was.
Neil, talk about. I want to get into some staff changes and moves you made and some additions, but I want to talk first about your son, Matthew. I can remember him up in the suites in the Superdomes when he was, 7, 8, 9 years old, and here he is, a senior, getting offers. Talk about what it's been like for not just the coaching, but to spend the amount of quality time and build that relationship that you've been able to build with him.
Yeah, I mean, that's my buddy, growing up as a coach's kid, I just tagged along with my dad wherever he was going. And, I was right there with him. I used to be up in Superdome Suites tagging along with my dad, doing the same thing. And it's just such a special time that you get. And for me to be on the opposite end of that now, it's just, it makes you appreciate it even more. And I'm just so proud of Matthew and the young man that he is. He's just a great leader on our campus. He's a great son, a great brother, and he's been a tremendous leader, along with his classmates in the senior class at Dunham. They've been fantastic. But he's worked extremely hard, gets after the weight room, goes on the weekends and asks me to go out there and throw to him. I can't throw quite as good as Hayden Hand, our starting quarterback, but I can get it out there a little bit. And he works really hard, and so it's fun to see that hard work pay off.
He hasn't committed anywhere yet, huh?
No, he had. He did. He had a great summer. Was able to perform well at camps and ended up with some opportunities to go play at the next level. And so he's kind of waiting to see where that leads.
I know a good friend of mine, Hud Jackson, up at Arkansas, Monticello, offered him, and
That's right.
he was very high on him.
So,
absolutely,
Neil, I have another question involving your son, and this is something I battle with, and I just want to get other people's opinions. As a coach, I know that if I push my son to go do something, those reps aren't going to be as effective for him unless he decides to do that on his own. How many times do you have to push him to go do something opposed to him just saying, "Dad, I'm going to go do this"?
No, I tell you, he's got a lot. He has a much greater work ethic at this age and in high school than I did.
Also more talented.
We're 100 times better. That's for sure. But he just loves to work. I mean, I don't think I've ever said, "Hey, let's go to the weight room. You need to get a workout in," or "Hey, I want to bring you out to the field and throw some balls." I don't think I've ever had to ask that. He asked me all the time, and the good thing is he saw older guys working like that. Quite honestly, I know we talked about Derek, but Derek was the hardest working guy we had. And the moment his junior season ended, the very next day he was out on the field working drills, getting better. So Matthew was in 9th grade, 8th grade watching that. And so those guys see that, and now it's the same thing. We've got guys that are watching Matthew and Lawrence Watts and Jordan Dupre and Calante Wilson, these guys that love to be in the weight room and love to work out on their own. 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I was painting lines on the practice field on a Sunday afternoon, and Calante Wilson and Jordan Dupre, they've got cones and dummies set up, and they're working on their own on the field. So Matthew does it on his own, but he's not alone, and I think that's what makes it so fun to see that whole class come together like that.
Is Calante back to 100%?
He is. He was fantastic tonight, man. It was so much fun. And I know for him it was a big relief just to get out there and go. That's the first time to have any kind of competition since week 2 of last year. And so, man, it was so much fun seeing him get to tote the rock and do his thing.
A couple of staff changes. Obviously, Randy Linedecker stepped down as your defense coordinator. But you were able to maintain him as a CCP. You brought in Caleb Linedecker to run your offense. And then I see tonight where you've added Benny Logan to your staff.
Yeah, we were fortunate. Benny worked for Coach O and worked for the LSU staff last year, and Benny's just a great guy that we've gotten to know over the last several months. And he was looking for maybe a step back as far as just what all goes into college coaching, and not just the hours, but just the dynamics that it is. And so he was going to volunteer out at Denham Springs High is what he was hoping to do, because he lives out in Denham. And Dr. Jeremy Como played basketball at LSU, has got a son at Dunham. He said, "Hey, no, you ain't going to Denham. You're going to Dunham, bud. You go work for Coach Weiner."
I'm sure Brett Beard appreciates that.
That's right. So I called Benny up immediately and asked to sit down with him, and he's been with us ever since, and he's been fantastic. So
well, look,
we got Benny Logan doing the defensive line, and then Dylan Farrell, played in the NFL, played at Christian Life, played at New Mexico. He's our offensive line coach. So if you got to pick a D-line and an O-line coach, I'll take those two over anybody in the state. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
they're not very intense, I would assume.
What's that?
They're not very intense, I would assume.
Oh, just a little. But they're gentle giants. They're gentle giants. But those two guys are 6'4" and 6'5". Caleb Linedecker might be 5'7", but he has been fantastic. He's got all the intensity and heart that Randy has always instilled in our kids. And now he's just so young and so hungry to learn and do things. He has been fantastic. And the great thing is, Randy's still here. He's up in the press box now on the headset talking with Caleb. So, man, we got two great ones right there.
Coach, tell Benny that my son Travis, is still waiting on Benny to buy that hunting land, so they can go make some hunting trips. 'Cause he was talking about that last year, actually, about Benny was looking to buy some hunting land. So
I believe it. Benny's a big hunter, man. He loves it.
So, Coach, real quick before we let you go, let's talk about your team real quick. You had a fairly young team, some due to injury, some due just to other things. You look forward. We got Kalante coming back. You got to feel like that you've got a good chance to pull out a good season coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're excited. Our schedule is no slouch. I mean, we'll go to Parkview next week, and then we go on the road to 5A Hammond, and then we got U High, and we'll go to South Beauregard, then we got Southern Labs. So it's quite the daunting schedule, but our kids they've earned that right to go play these top teams because they've worked so hard. I'm excited. I think our defense, now that we're starting to get everybody back from either a quarantine or an injury here or there, next week should be the first time that we've got our true starting 11 out there on defense, and I think they're going to be an outstanding group. Defensive line is just it's a really special group, and all the guys are juniors up front, and we got 3 inside linebackers that are juniors. So we got some good guys that'll be able to come back, and then offensively, our offensive line is kind of our least experienced unit on the team, but they were fantastic tonight against Catholic Punkapee, who's prides themselves on being physical up front and attacking, and those guys, man, they just did a great job with their schemes tonight. I think our offensive skill guys are outstanding. Our quarterback Hayden Hand, we haven't done the final stats yet, but I think he had over 200 yards in the Jamboree tonight, throwing the ball. He ran for a touchdown. It just made great decisions. And we legitimately have 5 wide receivers that we just kind of rotate in throughout the game to keep them fresh, because half of them are starting on defense as well, and they all had a chance. We scored 5 touchdowns. We had 5 different players score touchdowns tonight. So no, it's a great group, and I love the way they work. So we're excited.
Off to a great start, man. We appreciate you joining us so late.
Oh, no problem at all. You know how it is. I'm up watching film for a touchdown and start to get ready for Parkview.
That's right. Thank you, Coach.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
That is Coach Neil Weiner from Dunham, and a tremendous staff matched with some great talent. Expect some good things from Dunham this year.
I got to be honest. I hear him talk about his son. It's old. It's just a different stage. I just took Charlie to South Alabama, and it's just like you realize they're gone.
Yeah.
And
told you 100 times it goes
by
quick,
and I wouldn't change what I did. I think I would do it because of guys like you, and you know, you could hear, he said, that's my buddy, and you can just kind of feel the relationship they have. But it goes by quick, man. And then you just want it to stop, but it won't.
Was it, this is our 10th season doing the show?
Jimmy said 11th.
11?
Look, I'm going to have to let y'all listen. I have it on here. When we were in the studio downstairs, and Jackson brought us back from break.
It's been a while.
He is, what, a junior? High school now.
Because he was, he'd come hang out.
Sleep on the floor. Sleep on the floor in the hallway.
Oh, man. I actually found the shack liner that I can bring back from not that long ago.
Oh, we need that.
All right, let's take a time out. Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours, Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. It's 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
In the sunshine, everybody loves the sunshine.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
Today and see one of our board-certified clinicians to get you stronger, faster, and better. Ask your doctor for peak performance physical therapy to get you back in the game of life.
Looking for some time away but don't want to go too far? The Cook Hotel at LSU is just what you've been searching for. Book your getaway today and enjoy a peaceful escape overlooking the University Lake in any of their luxurious guest rooms or suites. Their newly renovated bar is back open for service, and they're located near some of the best restaurants in town. Visit thecookhotel.com or call 225-383-2665 to book your stay today.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Welcome back to the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show. Let's get you caught up on Capital City scores in Jamboree action.
Albany shuts out East Iberville 29-0. Denham Springs over Walker 21-7. Dunham 35, Catholic Point Capede 20. Zachary a 12-6 winner over Lafayette Christian. West Feliciana shuts out Livonia 28-0. Catholic of Baton Rouge 28, University High 10. Parkview Baptist blanks St. Michael 18-0. St. James over Vanderbilt Catholic 18-12. East St. John 18, West Jefferson 0. Woodlawn a 14-13 winner over Madison Prep. Ascension Catholic shuts out Episcopal 14-0. Southern Lab a close one over Amite 22-20. And Independence 22, Springfield 20.
Another thing on that Parkview St. Michael game, Parkview looked really good, 18-0 win. St. Michael had 20 players out tonight because of COVID, Tracy.
Wow. Now, 20 players out, COVID, contact tracing, but they were at least able to get on the field.
Got the game in.
So
yeah.
you can at
They
least
got it in.
get to that. And, I don't know how that's going to, it's different maybe because it's Jamboree. You're able to work things with another coach and figure out what you're going to do. Is that something that they could do if this happened in week 4, you think?
Well, from what I understand, every area, there's not one set protocol as far as contact tracing. It's up to the school boards, the superintendents, the school districts, and such.
Yeah.
It's not an LHSAA rule. It's not something the LHSAA is going to govern. It's basically up to the parishes and the school boards.
The Department of Health, like if there's a player on the other team, they're the ones that look at the film and see who has to go to quarantine and who does not.
The game film, based on who was playing against them, stuff like that.
Yep.
I got you. Well, they got at least the Jamboree in, and we'll see if things will get to improve week to week for St. Michael Warriors. We'll take a timeout, and we'll come back for one more segment tonight on this Jamboree edition of the Lake Urgent Care Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep School Board Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savion office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savion have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7, The Tiger.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
LakeUrgentCare.com and schedule your virtual visit today. Feel better faster with virtual visits from Lake Urgent Care. Lake After Hours. See a highly trained clinician from anywhere using your mobile device or computer. To get started, go to LakeUrgentCare.com and schedule your virtual visit today.
Welcome back. We've missed you. We know it's been tough. Because rebuilding your business isn't for the faint of heart. Your business needs a jump start. And we're here to help. Introducing Surge, symmetrical speed fiber internet from eTel Business. Revved up data speeds at 30% off, plus 3 months free. We're glad you're back, and we're here to make your business surge. eTel Business. Offer valid on 3-year contract for 2 or more business services.
The Lake Urgent Care, Lake After Hours Louisiana Prep Scoreboard Show on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Yo, what's up? This is Shaq. Listen to Louisiana Prep Scoreboard with my friend Todd Black, Kate Wazin, and Jimmy Roy. Friday nights on 104.5, 104.9 ESPN.
Might have to get Dion on this year, too.
I think it's possible, too.
Yeah.
Shaq did a couple. I remember in that series there was the video, the Mama Black one, but there was the big time players and big time games and
with the
rings and the good boys wearing the rings. I had a lot of fun with Shaq over the years.
Well, Jackson told him, said, "My friends don't believe that I'm really meeting you." He said, "Go get your iPad." So he went and got it and brought it back. And he's like, "I'm here with my friend Shaq." And then Shaq would just go,
and that ring's bigger than Jackson's hand.
Good dude right there, man.
Before we get out of here for the night, let's go ahead and look at some of the top players from around the state, Jimmy and Todd. Let's start first with the quarterbacks. Tons of great quarterbacks from all over the state. We heard Ben Love talking about one of them. So let's look at some of the top QBs.
You know, for years, Louisiana went without producing a top quarterback.
You're very true.
For long. You're going to have the number 1 ranked quarterback in the country this year in Walker Howard. You have the number 1 ranked junior in the country of all positions in Arch Manning next year.
Right.
He's a junior. Ricky Collins from Woodlawn, LSU offer, who some say he's better than Arch Manning. He's a dual sport, or he plays football, basketball, baseball. He does it all. Multi-talented guy. Can't wait to see him. Eli Holstein, junior at Zachary, A&M commit. Rhys Mooney from Denham Springs. He's a junior. SEC offers. You got Zion Chris, who's committed to ULL from Madison Prep. And don't forget Landry Liddy up at Calvary, who's committed to Louisiana Tech. So just sitting here looking, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 in-state kids who have SEC offers are committed to an SEC school.
It's interesting to hear that, because as you mentioned, the years Louisiana went without producing these top quarterbacks, but such a swing to go from that amount to what we got now, and like an abundance of them. It's not just we went from nothing to a couple. Now we have, over half a dozen of these all over the state.
It's unbelievable, really. I think a lot of it goes to Todd Black and his quarterback camps that he's been running.
Yep.
So
credit where credit is due.
You need some quarterback.
What about the running backs?
Running backs, quite a few just right here. Dylan Sampson, who's a Tennessee commit out of Dutchtown. You have Le'Veon Moss. He just decommitted. Decommitted from Alabama, and it's LSU and Alabama there. Trey Holly, what happened in the state championship game just blew me away. But he's up in Union Parish. He's close to breaking all kind of records. Marlon Gunn has a Florida State offer. He's here also at Scotlandville. Then you have a name that's kind of familiar, Trevor Etienne. He's got some SEC offers. He's from Jennings. And then finally, you have Trevante Citizen from Lake Charles College Prep. And then Liberty, Caleb Jackson, SEC offer. And also from Denham Springs, you have Raiden McNeely. Is he he's not a senior this year, is he?
No, he's a junior too.
Yep.
That's what I'm saying. The junior classes in both of those are just they're loaded. It's incredible how many. We'll move on to the wide receivers. One of the most electric players we've had and was from from Carr, Aaron Anderson. They had a player, a Preston kid, and I'm not sure where he ended up, but Anderson always stood out to me. He's from Carr, LSU commit. You got Dakotas Crawford, LSU commit from Green Oaks.
Yes.
They're going to play Zachary later on in the year. Omarion Miller from North Caddo, LSU. Shaz Preston, who LSU's praying that they get. He's a senior from St. James, and then Shelton Sampson, who's a 6'4", runs a 4.4 or below from Catholic High. He's junior SEC offers. He's going to have his choices also.
That's now our defensive line is that LSU seems to be doing pretty good.
Yeah, they are. These next 2 years in state are huge for LSU.
Walter Bobb, a defensive lineman from Acadiana, he's committed to Alabama. Then you got Taiji Hill from Carr. You remember last year we talked to him. I think he's got 36 seniors at Carr this year.
Carr does.
Yep. And then Jamon Tapp, Ascension Catholic, Fitzgerald West from Lafayette Christian, Quincy Wiggins, for Madison Prep, all defensive linemen.
You can remember Jamon Tapp when we had Ascension Catholic on our show.
Yeah.
At Walk-Ons in Prairieville, and he came up to us and talked to us, and his mom made him come up and speak to us, and he was a freshman, and we told him this, son, you have the chance with your body. He was playing.
That's a good memory.
He was playing a lot of tight end and also defensive end, but defensive end is where his future is as far as SEC schools. And we told him, and his mom was on him about his grades at that time, and we said, you get your grades right. I can remember Lyle Collins walking in the door as a freshman. He had that kind of look. So he's another one. DBs, some of them, Jordan Allen from Lafayette Christian, he's committed to Purdue. Colin Jackson from Zachary, he has SEC offers. He's a junior. Jordan Matthews from Woodlawn, he's a junior. LaTerrence Welch from Acadiana, who missed almost all of last year, came back in the state championship game, got an interception. He's committed to LSU. He's a senior. He's another good one.
So you mentioned a lot of Lafayette Christian guys there. I think they have a chance this year to win their fifth state title in a row. And there's who
the only team who's ever done that before was John Curtis. And then also you have Acadiana going for a three-peat. And, they have a legitimate chance to make it because they're returning a lot of guys. Scheduling, Todd, we can talk a little bit about that too, because you look at some of them. Zachary's loaded down with schedule. Acadiana's loaded down. St. Thomas More's loaded down. Woodlawn is absolutely. They're talking about Woodlawn making a jump this year. Woodlawn could be 4-6 and have a damn good team.
That's true.
Their schedule is that tough. Catholic High's is brutal. I mean, Catholic High opens up going to Maryland if they get to go with the weather coming up. Then they come back home to Acadiana, and then they go to West Monroe the next week. And then you got some teams that's playing nobody. You're not going to know who they are until week 6 or 7 of the year. They're going to be 5-0 and really don't know who they are. It's funny how there's so much difference in scheduling going on right
this
now.
isn't going to surprise you, but Ruston again. Neville, Rummel, Airline, Karen Crow, St. Thomas More are all their non-district games. West Monroe's non-district games. Sam Houston, Brother Martin, Catholic, Woodlawn, Neville. So it's almost like those teams, though, that are playing those schedules, it's working for them.
Well, and here's the thing. Nowadays, you don't have to be 9-1, 8-2 to make the playoffs.
No.
I mean, if you're a 500 team, you're in for sure, just about. I mean,
And if you're close, just say you got COVID and forfeit.
yeah.
1 minute to go.
But when you're like that, go play some of them teams. I'd rather be 4-1 or 3-2 going into district, knowing who the heck I am and what I have, than being 5-0 and like
having a couple of battle scars. And
I don't know who we are.
Yeah. Well, this has been great to get caught up, and we look forward next week for the return of the high school football season. Louisiana Prep Scoreboard will be back. Louisiana Prep Preview will be back. Louisiana Prep Weekly, not this weekend, but we will return next Sunday for Hurricane Ida coverage tomorrow afternoon at 2 with the Governor John Bel Edwards press conference. Sunday from noon to 10 p.m. and Monday from 6 a.m. to 10. We'll have your complete coverage for Todd Black, Jimmy Roy, Ryan Kennedy, Taylor Sharp, Rhys, and Skip. We will see you next week on the Scoreboard.
Introducing Vizzy Lemonade, the only